Hi, good morning everyone. Here we are, Swimmers Edge Yoga. It's another week. Glad to have you all here. We are excited. We're coming into some taper for our Masters groups. A lot of you guys are aiming for the Masters Nationals in Riverside, California. So good luck to you all as you prepare for that. And some of you are not tapering. So I'll try to cue a little bit to those of you who are tapering and how you can modify some things. And then the rest of you can keep working hard during those times. But take your resting poses whenever you need them. Remember that these practices are for you. So they're meant to be at your pace and at your edge for what you need in your day's workout. That being said, if you're new to Swimmers Edge Yoga and you've not been here before with us, make sure that you consulted with your doctor or your sports medicine professional about what modifications or what setup for yoga might be right for you. We kind of throw that disclaimer out there because this is not designed to be a program where we're interacting with you in person, so it's hard to make some assumptions about your body and your needs. So make sure you're consulting with your doctor before you take classes. We're going to come down to our mats. We're going to start on our back this morning. So if you want to lie down on your back, come into corpse pose. Just find a nice, comfortable position where we can start warming up and getting ready for our practice here. So legs will be long and hands at your side, or better yet, let's take one hand onto our chest and one hand onto our belly, and we'll just start connecting to our breath. So when we breathe in our yoga classes, generally we're going to be breathing through our nose, inhaling and exhaling through our mouth. So we'll start just there. So inhaling in through your nose, really fill up, and then exhale through your mouth. You should even be able to hear that exhale. So as you inhale through your nose, fill up the chest, fill up the lungs, feel your chest rise. And as you exhale, just let that air come out of your mouth kind of audibly, kind of huffing it out. And go ahead and do that a few times. Inhaling, nice deep breath, the chest lifts, the rib cage expands, and then exhaling through your mouth. Eliminate all that air. Use your ribs, use those abdominal muscles to push that air out. Inhale. Exhale. Feel your belly fill up with air too. A lot of times we don't breathe deeply into our bellies every day. We certainly don't as swimmers as we're cruising down the pool, so make use of your whole lung capacity right now. Fill them up and empty them out. We're going to start moving with our breath. So taking your hands to your side, we'll trust that our chest is rising on these inhales. We'll just inhale and exhale. And this time think about your right leg. So with your inhale, bend your knee, draw your knee into your chest, nice deep inhale. With your exhale, send it back down. Keep your right foot flexed as you do these leg moves. With your next inhale, flex your left foot, bend your left knee, draw it up to your chest, give it a good squeeze. As you exhale, send it long. Inhale through the right. You're probably noticing whether or not your body is tight from the weekend, your activities. Exhale lower. Or whether or not it's feeling kind of loose. Just take a mental note of how your hips and legs are feeling and honor your body. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift the right, draw it into your chest. This time while you're hanging out here, we're just going to breathe. So keep breathing while you're drawing that knee in. We're going to do some ankle circles. We'll go to the right. Just keep breathing. And to the left. And we'll stop. Now take a nice deep inhale with your knee up there. And with your exhale, open that knee wide to the outside. Cool. So feel that hip open. Should be at about a 90-degree angle, maybe just a little bit higher, but don't bring it up too high into your armpit. Think about your left hip. Swimmers, you should have your left glute is still on the floor. If you're opening your hip so wide that it's making you roll off of that left hip, then bring that left bum back to the mat and let that right leg hover. And we'll just breathe here for a little bit. Okay, Engage your abdominals. We're going to lift that knee up off the floor, take it across your body with your exhale, send it over to the left side, and extend your right hand towards the right wall. It's a little bit of a twist here, so be careful of your lower back. Just be gentle. You don't need to take it to a far edge. Just let it rest here. And then inhale, we'll bring it back to center. Give it a good squeeze. Exhale, send it long. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, drop the left leg. Keep that foot flexed. And then we're going to rotate it into ankle circles while you just breathe. And switch directions. Get your ankles loose. Not just for breaststroke, for everything, right? The more ankle mobility we have, the better freestyle kick, butterfly kick, backstroke kick, everything. So really get that range of motion. Don't be lazy. And then we're going to open that left knee out to the left side. You can open your right hand too if you like that arm extended for some balance. Try to relax your glutes. Think about your hip girdle here, so that whole pelvis. What muscles are tightening up? Try to relax them so that your left hip can open farther, and keep your right hip on the floor. That away. Okay, inhale, we'll bring that leg up to the middle. Switch hands, take it across to the right side, extend your left hand. And swimmers, as you bring that right knee towards the right side of the room, depending on how tight things are, your left shoulder may start to pull up off the floor. So bring that left shoulder back to the floor and just let your leg hover instead of letting that left shoulder come up. If you can bring the right knee all the way down to the floor with that left shoulder touching, that's pretty bendy. And back to center. Let's take both knees up into a tight tuck. So drawing everything in. You're really deeply in. Just breathe. With your next inhale, we'll take them wide. So nice wide knee, tight tuck. Just let your knees rock back and forth a little bit, like alternate a little. See if you can find some mobility in opening those hips a little bit just by moving your legs around. Breathe. That's great. We'll bring them back into a nice close tight tuck. Let's warm up these abdominals a little bit. So hold on to your shins. Real tight with those legs. Now take your tailbone. You have to think about this. Take your tailbone and return it down to the mat. So you're kind of tilting your pelvis so that your tip of your tailbone comes to the floor. Let's feel that touching. Now with your next inhale, we're going to lift our shoulder blades up off the mat. So inhale, lift. Really tight through that core. Use your arms. You can use your arm strength to pull up. But get those shoulder blades up. Now exhale, lower down. Try to do that while you keep that tailbone near the floor. Inhale, lift. Bring everything into that tight ball. Exhale, lower it down. Keep the tailbone there. Inhale, lift. Draw everything up. Oh, it's tight. Hang in there. Be breathing. Just breathe up there. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And lower down. Awesome. Let's take the legs up the wall. So we're going to send them up tall. Keep those feet flexed, swimmers, so that the bottoms of your feet are towards the ceiling. Now think about your tailbone. Let's keep that tailbone towards the mat too. Tight through these abdominals to hold those legs up. If you need to, you can use your hands behind your thighs, but that's probably for someone who's not tightening up their abs. As soon as you grab on, your abdominals aren't doing as much work, right? So with your inhale, we're going to bend our knees. Bring those knees down to your chest so that your tops of your thighs touch your belly. You can hold on behind there. Give them a tight pull in. Now exhale, send them up to the ceiling again. Inhale, keep those flat feet towards the ceiling the whole time. It's really easy if you don't do that. So feet towards the ceiling, nice and flat. Inhale, bend the knees, bring those thighs down to the chest. Exhale, up tall. You feel your quads starting to fire up, strong through those quads. One more time. Down you go. And exhale, extend. Let's do it with our hands at our side if you can. Inhale, draw the knees to chest. Exhale, send them up tall. Now our hands are at our side. We're going to lower our legs down towards the floor real slow with a nice slow count. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. And down we go. Awesome. Let's bend the knees. We'll put our feet flat on the floor. We'll do a little flowing bridge. So your fingertips should be able to touch your heels when your hands are at your side. With your inhale, press into your feet, lift your glutes, your bum off the floor. Don't put your weight into your head or neck. I know I say that all the time. It's so important. Roll onto the outside edges of those arms or shoulders and really lift the hips high. You can even put your hands beneath your hips to press them up a little bit higher, just to get that stretch through the belly. It's not always about the strength. Sometimes it's about the stretch. Okay, press up in there. Exhale, lower down. Okay, let's go ahead and add this as a flow. Inhale, lift with your breath. Exhale, lower. If you want to go with your own breath, just do it. If you breathe a little faster or a little slower, inhale, lift. Really press your chest too, not just your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. If it bothers your knees at all, swimmers, it's helpful to put a pull buoy or a block in between them and hold on with your legs. That helps your knees to not take that burden. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And as you know, if you want to add a leg, you can extend the right leg and then lower down. Inhale, lift. Extend the left leg and lower down. Again, don't put that weight in your head and neck. Inhale, lift. We'll go ahead with the right and lower. And inhale with the left leg extended and lower. Awesome. We'll get rid of the block if you were using that. Let's go ahead and roll on to our side and we'll come up into all fours, our tabletop position. So bring your body into that nice strong all fours. I was watching some of you guys in our webinar the other day, and those of you guys who are at SPA, hi, Santa Plantation, by the way, make sure that your feet aren't touching. Space them apart, and your knees should be hips width apart. So make sure that there's some space in between your legs there, unless you have really tidy hips. Then your hands right underneath your shoulders, spread your fingertips wide like starfish hands. With your inhale, we'll go to cow. Lift your tailbone, lift your face. Exhale up to cat. Arch the back, tailbone to the floor, head to the floor. Drop your head, let it dangle. You can shake your head right and left. Stretch the neck. Inhale, lift to cow. Face is lifted, tailbone's lifted. Exhale, back up to cat. Drop the top of your head, just like the top of your head is facing the floor. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Awesome. I love cat-cow. Go ahead, back. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. We'll be up in cat. Let's go ahead and rock back just a little bit. Then rock forward in cat. Stretch your wrists out. Back and forth just a little bit. Feel that stretch through the lats. Okay, come back into all fours. Let's do some wrist stretches. So it's hard to see this probably on the video, but take your right hand and twist it around so that your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. So now your left hand fingers are facing forward and your right hand fingers are facing your knees. We'll just rock forward and back like that. And now switch. So switch your right and left hand. Rock back and forth. Let's just go ahead and put both hands backwards and rock back and forth. You can do some alternating. Just play here. You can even put them sideways and do some rocking. But just let those wrists, if you put the hands facing inward, just give a little wrist stretch. You can do the back sides of your hands. A little stretch there. Let's come down onto our elbows with our elbows right underneath our shoulders. Our hips are high. We'll send our arms long. So stretch them out and press your chest down towards the floor with your hips high in puppy. You can either let your face hover or you can bring it down to the floor. Feel that stretch through your upper rhomboids, through your traps, through those lats. That's a good feeling. Let's go around and take your arms over to the left side. Keep your hips high, stretch through puppy. Take your hands over to the right side. Stretch through puppy. That's awesome. We'll come back up to all fours. You can stay down there in that tabletop position. Find a good strong tabletop where your abs are engaged. And you're drawing that navel up towards your spine. We're going to go strong through our core here while we do some balancing tabletop. So inhale, extend your left leg and right hand as if someone's pulling on each of your limbs away from one another. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Flex your toes towards the floor, swimmers, while you do this. Exhale, lower. And reach forward with the hand as if someone's trying to shake hands with you. But your eyes should be looking down at the mat right underneath your face. Exhale, lower. Inhale, extend the opposite, so left hand, right foot, lower. Inhale, right. Let's hang out here for a breath. So your right hand is forward, your left foot is extended behind you. Just breathe strong through your core. Find that balance. Breathing. Stay strong. So static poses can be trickier than the flows, right? Hand lower down. Awesome. We'll switch sides. Find a good knee position. Find your breath. Engage your core. With your inhale, lift your right foot away from you and your left hand. Find your balance. Make sure you keep those toes flexed towards the floor and your face is looking down towards the mat. Your arms should frame your ears, so bring that hand up high enough that it's right alongside your head. Form is important too. Starfish hands in that right hand. Keep breathing. And lower. That's great. Let's go ahead and sink back into child's pose so your hips come all the way down to your feet. Extend your hands in front of you. You can take a wide-kneed child's pose, so open up your knees wide, sink down low. Everything in your body should be relaxed in this pose. Nothing strong, just chill. That's great. We'll come up into all fours again. Let's come up into plank. So for those of you guys who are tapering, you can go to kneeling plank if this bothers your shoulders or if it feels like we're torquing them up, but I think you should be okay. So with your hands right underneath your shoulders, let's go ahead and extend the feet out behind us into regular plank. Coaches, as you're walking around the room, just give a little tap on the lower back if the bum is too high. And then swimmers, try to roll right over your hands. A lot of times in plank we push backwards, so try to keep your face over your hands here hanging out in plank. Just strong to that plank position. Feel the shoulders firing up, feel the core strong, and we'll press up into down dog. So the hands and feet stay in the same place from plank to down dog. Press your chest towards your thighs. Try to bring your feet closer to the floor, heels, I mean. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Press your heels towards the floor. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Awesome. Inhale to plank. Now see if you can lift a foot off the floor. So we'll take our right foot and just extend it back behind you like we did when we were in balancing tabletop. Strong here. If you're in kneeling plank, it's kind of like balancing tabletop again. And the foot comes to the floor and back up to down dog. Awesome. Press your heels towards the mat. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lift your left foot up off the floor. Strong to those shoulders. So 3-point plank. Exhale to down dog. Inhale to plank. Let's lift our right foot off the floor. With your exhale, we're going to extend all the way up to the ceiling in 3-point down dog. Lower the foot. Inhale to plank. Lift the left foot. Extend up to 3-point down dog. Awesome. Lower the foot. We'll come forward to plank. We're going to lower down. So remember, peer out over your hands. So shift forward. Elbows stay close to your body as you hover down into chaturanga. Slide those hands forward. We'll come up and do some Cobra Roll-Up. So inhale, lift up to Cobra. Exhale, lower down. Touch your forehead to the floor or your nose. Inhale up to Cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up for Cobra. Let's look over our right shoulder. Exhale, lower down. Inhale over our left shoulder. Exhale, lower down. We'll slide back enough on your mat that you can put your right side of your face on the floor. Let's interlace our hands behind our back. With our inhale, we're going to lift our chest off the floor and lift our hands up off of our back. So inhale, lift your hands and look forward as you lift your chest high off the floor. So locust. Exhale, lower. Change sides of your face so now your left side is on the floor. Inhale, lift. Do it with your breath here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Really lift those hands up too. Exhale, lower. Change sides of your face. This time we're going to hold it. Inhale, lift. Let's hold it for some breath. So stay breathing while you're up here. You shouldn't be too tight that you can't breathe. It's maintaining some peace and contentment here and quiet of your mind while you're in kind of an uncomfortable position. Practicing the last 50 of that 200 freestyle. And exhale, lower down. Awesome. If you want, you can try to lift your legs on this one. So we can release the hands to the side, and we're going to inhale, lift. Just lift the hands up off the floor, and you can lift the feet as well. Just bring them up as high as you want. And lower down. That's awesome. Take our hands right underneath our shoulders. We'll push up through all fours and sink into child's pose, kind of give that lower back a break. With your inhale, let's come up to down dog. So find a good strong down dog. Just pedal in here. We didn't really get that the first down dog. Stretch the knees. Even rotate the hips, so really bend into that knee and kind of shift the hips from side to side. And then we're going to travel. So keep your hands at the front of your mat, and we're walking our feet towards our hands. So as they get closer, you might have to find a way to stay in that fold. You can bring a block underneath if you want to come down to a block instead of the floor, but the top of your head should be towards the floor. So coaches, look around. If people are looking down at the floor, then their neck is crimped. So take that top of your head towards the floor. That's great. Let's go ahead and just bend into each knee in that forward fold with your hands to the block or to the floor, just bending into it. That's good. We'll take hold of opposite elbows with each hand. We're going to rotate around to the right, around to the left, around to the right, around to the left. Great. Let's put our right hand on the floor or on the block in front of us, right between our feet. We'll bend into that right knee and open our left hand to the sky. So you should have a nice straight line from your right hand all the way up to your left hand. Open your chest, and we'll switch. So put your left hand to the block, open to the right, bending that left knee. Exhale to the floor, switch directions. Now that we're up here on this side where the left hand is extended, you can turn your hand so that your thumb is facing your backside or your feet where they would be. Drop the backside of your hand behind you into a half bind. You can hold onto your leg or just let that hand dangle. And switch. We'll take the left hand to the floor or block and right hand high, and then you can switch to the backside of your hand behind your back. So palm facing away and release. Awesome. So we come into that forward fold. We're going to bend our knees a lot, sink our belly down to our legs, and then press up into chair. So your hips are behind you, your hands are extended, like you're sitting back into a chair. Really feel that weight shift into your hips so that your toes come up off the floor, and then press tall to stand. Little micro back bend here. We'll put our hands together, Find a little back bend, look up at the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale, we'll come up into monkey, so that half lift. Exhale, fold. We'll step back with our right foot, then our left foot into plank. Then lower down, chaturanga. Ooh, I put my face to the block. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale, curl your toes and then press up into down dog. There you go. We're going to step forward with our right foot and then our left. Exhale into the fold. Inhale, tall to stand, little back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale to monkey. Exhale, fold. We're going to pick it up. Step back left, then right. Lower down, chaturanga. Keep your elbows close. Inhale, cobra. Curl your toes. Exhale, down dog. Find that strong down dog. Move your feet. Inhale, step forward with your left, then right. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tall to stand. Little back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, fold. Step back with your right foot, then your left. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step forward, right, then left. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tall. Exhale, swan dive or bow. If you get lost, just find where we are and meet us up. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, fold. Step back left, then right. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Awesome. Inhale, step forward left, then right, and we'll fold. Inhale, tall to stand. Little back bend. Now we're going to sink our hips back into chair. So come into that chair position. Hips should be behind you. Look down. You should be able to see your toes. If that's too much on your shoulders or you're tapering, maybe you go into a prayer chair where your hands are at your heart, your sternum. And fold. Awesome. Let's do a little gorilla here. So take your hands and take the palms up underneath your feet. So point your fingers towards your feet with your palms up. And then we're going to bend our knees a lot and bring our belly all the way down to our thighs. So your belly should be touching your legs, your lap. Drop the top of your head. Now extend your legs. Lift your legs. Lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Bend your knees. Inhale, lift your hips as far as you can while you're tucked underneath your hands. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Just do what you can. Feel that stretch to the hamstrings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. You're standing on your hands. One more time. Inhale. And we'll release those hands and come up tall to stand. Okay, we've got some standing series here, so we'll come into a strong mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your hands high. Go back bend. Exhale, swan dive or bow. Inhale to monkey. Exhale, fold. We'll step back with our right foot into lunge, and we're going to come up to crescent. So you're on your back right toes. Find that good lunge spot with your left leg, and then come up onto that thigh with your hands balancing here in this balanced lunge or crescent. So you can stay here, or you can lift your hands high to be strong off that thigh. But you can also have your hands on your lap if you need that for the balance too. Strong to that crescent lunge. One more breath. Inhale. With your exhale, we'll sweep our hands behind us into airplane arms. Lean out over that front leg. Still balancing. You can lean onto that thigh if you want, but the arms are at your side behind you, stretched out. Now drop your hands to the floor. Find strong hands and press back into plank, moving that left leg back. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra, or press all the way up into down dog. It's up to you. Down dog is where your arms are extended, and everything is lifted off the floor except the tops of your feet. Exhale up to down dog. We'll step forward with our right foot into the crescent lunge. So find that strong 90-degree angle with your foot on your left toes. Really extend that left leg and come up into that crescent. Whether you have your hand on your thigh or you raise your hands above your head. Lower those hips. Just breathe. Hands come to the floor. We're going to step forward into forward fold. So find that good fold. Top of the head drops. Inhale, tall to stand. Exhale, fold. Inhale to monkey. Exhale, fold. We'll start with the left foot this time. So come back into warrior. So like a lunge, drop the heel to the floor. The left toes point to the left side of the mat. We'll come up into warrior two. Sinking into that front knee, make sure the knee is tracking forward. Coaches, look around. You don't want any knees dropping to the inside or outside. Just right out from that leg. Looking over the front hand, warrior two. Lengthen that back leg. Press into that long edge of your foot. Your inhale will lift up into reverse warrior. Our exhale, let's come to side angle. Drop your right elbow to right knee and extend your left hand. It's a nice, pretty diagonal line from the ceiling to the floor where your foot is. Awesome. We'll pivot towards the mat and put both hands inside the right foot. So now when you're looking down, you should see left hand, right foot. And then you're extended out onto your left leg behind you. We'll drop the left knee to the floor and the top of the left foot. And now you're in a pose called lizard. And lizard has a lot of options. You can stay right here in lizard, or maybe you even want to block underneath your hands to stay tall through your lizard pose. That's one option. Coming down onto your elbows, onto the block, or onto the floor is another option in lizard. Keep that knee close to your body. Some people can even come all the way down to the floor and extend out. That's not something I can do. So it's up to you where you want to be in lizard. Find your own edge. Enjoy that hip stretch on the right hip and hamstring. Just breathe. Coming out of lizard, let's push into our hands. Curl your back toes under, lift up off that knee, and we'll step back into plank. So we'll finish that low flow or take a rest if you're tapering. So exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up to cobra or up dog. Exhale, press up into down dog. Awesome. We're going to step forward with the left foot in a minute, but just enjoy a breath in down dog. Those of you who took a resting pose, you can come and join us now. And we'll step forward into right with our left foot, Drop that back right foot into warrior and come up into warrior two. So warrior two with the left knee forward, looking out over that left hand. Track that knee, sink those hips. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Lower the hips so that nice diagonal line happens. The palm of the hand is towards the floor. Breathe. Press through the long edge of your foot. Press away from your body. Rotate towards the mat. So now on the floor it should be left foot, left hand, right hand. Drop the right knee to the mat, top of the right foot. Enjoy that stretch in lizard however you want on this side. So again, hands to the floor, hands to the block, elbows to the floor, whatever you like to do in lizard stretch. And breathe. We'll be coming out of lizard. You can press into your hands on the floor. Curl the back toes, come up off the knee. We're going to step back into plank. Now again, finish the low flow or take a child's pose if you're tapering. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. That's great. With our inhale, let's lift our right foot off the floor. So we're coming back into three-point down dog, whichever height you want. So it can be a light lift or a tall lift. Beautiful. We're going to drop that, bend the knee, send the heel behind your body, look under your right armpit for twisted down dog. Keep your knee raised high, and then we're going to step forward sorry, not step, we're going to hover forward with our knee to our chest here and slide forward to that hovering plank. So keep your knee up off the floor and then raise it back into that 3-point down dog. Now hover back into the hovering plank, press back up into 3-point down dog. And then when we hover forward the next time, rotate your lower leg so that your right foot is near the left side of the mat and your right knee is near the right side of the mat, and then lower that foot down. Then sink back, so move your left foot behind you and come into pigeon. Many of us need a block in front of us in pigeon to be able to push up tall with our upper body. The goal is to have your shin parallel to the front of your mat. So your right knee is on the right side of your mat, your right foot is on the left side of the mat. Coaches, you probably want to look around and see if that's what's happening. It's not a pose you want to be in the wrong position. Okay, but the goal is to walk that back foot behind you and then try to bring your right glute down to the floor. A lot of us hover in pigeon, especially swimmers. We're tight through this hip area, even breaststrokers. Just enjoy that stretch. You're holding onto a block, breathing. You can come down to the block in pigeon too. It's a different kind of stretch. Put your elbows onto the block. Or even swimmers, if you'd like, you can come down to the floor. So maybe stack your fist out in front of your face and just rest your head on your fist. Or even bring your head all the way down to the floor, resting on your hand. To see how that feels. Wherever you need to stay, remember this is your practice and the person next to you is doing a different practice. So find your own edge and what feels good to you. And breathe. Okay, now coming out of pigeon is important. So press into your hands, get the weight off your upper body. Curl your back toes, lift the weight off of your hips. Now extend that leg out behind you into plank. Ooh, gratitude. So go ahead and finish that low flow or take a rest. So exhale to chaturanga, inhale cobra or up dog, exhale up to down dog, and we'll just wait here. Those of you in the resting pose, you can come up and join us in this nice down dog. We'll do this on the other side. So with your inhale, lift your left foot up, bend your left knee and drop the left foot behind your body. Look under your left armpit into twisted down dog. Enjoy the hip stretch. Inhale, hovering plank with the knee underneath, drawn to your chest. Inhale, lift up into 3-point down dog. Exhale, hovering plank. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hovering plank. Now turn your left foot to the right side of the mat, left knee to the left side of the mat, and sink back into pigeon on the left side. Just notice your body. Like for me, I'm like, yep, my left hip is usually tighter than my right one. Just make a notice of that. It's important to have a body awareness. Start to get to know your body and how it functions and maybe why it functions that way. So use your block if you need to be tall in pigeon. Really press up. You can even look at the sky. That's a nice stretch through your belly. Or if you like to do pigeon down on the floor, then you just put your elbows to the block or to the floor or stack your fists. Or put your head down on your hands, whatever feels right to you. Or all of them. Try all of them because it gets into different areas of your hip to do each of them. And while you're in that final spot, just hold it. But don't hold your breath. Try to use your breath to relax the parts of your body that are tightening up. A lot of muscles want to contract. Try to release those muscles to come deeper into that stretch. And we'll press up onto our hands. We'll curl the back toes, lift up off the floor, then send back into plank. We'll go all the way up to down dog. Beautiful. Then drop your knees. We'll all come into a resting pose. Take a child's pose. In fact, we've done a lot on our shoulders, so instead of child's pose, let's take our hands next to our side and hold on to our feet in rabbit. So hold on to your heels. Just enjoy that for a moment. We'll come onto the tops of our heads and lift our hips while we hold our feet. Feel that stretch through your back and rabbit. Awesome. Lower down. Let's come up to seated. So you can send your feet out in staff pose. In front of you, we'll do a few forward folds here. So flex your feet so that they're facing the ceiling. With your inhale, we'll lift the hands high, so strong through the core. Exhale, fold forward. When you fold forward, you're really just reaching forward. Don't worry about how far your hands go or where your face is. Just reach forward, bring your body as forward as it will go, and then drop your head down. Feel that stretch. Inhale, lift. We'll bring the arms up, sweep them up, look up at your hands. Exhale, lower. Bring your belly over your lap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Awesome. Let's take both feet together. We'll come into butterfly stretch. So send those knees open wide. Hold on to your ankles and really actively push those knees down towards the floor. Move your feet out far enough away from you that you can get your knees close to the floor. The soles of your feet might even face up towards the ceiling here. They don't have to touch one another. You can flip your feet. With your inhale, let's sit tall through the torso. With your exhale, hold on to your ankles and pull yourself into a folded butterfly stretch. So you're coming over the feet with your face, gently. Feel that stretch through the groins. Again, find your edge. Some of you are like, yeah, my edge is pretty tall. That's all right. It's good for you to stay there. You don't want to create an inflammatory response in your body where it gets mad and then has to heal itself over the next few days. We're trying to stretch with a positive stretch, not cause injury, because you've got a lot to do in the pool. We'll come back up tall. Let's take the right leg wide. We'll take the left foot into the groin. So put the left foot against your right leg. Sitting up really tall, right? Don't sink back into your pelvis slouchy. Sit up real tall. Inhale your hands. We're going to extend over that right foot, but keep the right foot towards the ceiling and come into that nice hurdler fold. While you're down there, take your left hand and hold on to your right big toe. Then slide your right hand under your left side body and take hold of your left knee. It's just a different kind of fold. We can actually come into this differently if you didn't get it. So let's come up tall. We'll switch how this happens. So we'll take our right hand, put it onto your left knee into a nice twist. Okay, find that twist. Now, reaching that left hand up overhead, take hold of your right toe. So it's a nice fold. A little different. Gets into your back also. And release, and we'll come up tall. We'll send the left leg long. We'll bring the right foot into the left crook of the groin there. Keep the left foot flexed, sitting up super tall in your torso, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower over that left leg. Really stretch out over it. Foot stays towards the ceiling. Now let's get into that different fold from here. So take hold of your left toe with your right hand, and then thread your left hand, to your right knee, and look under your right armpit. We'll come back tall and try it from the sitting up position. So take your left hand, put it onto your right knee. Give yourself a little twist. You can even look over your right shoulder and lift your right hand up overhead and reach for your left foot, looking under that right armpit. Nice stretch through the lat there. And release. That's awesome. Let's come into half lotus. So put one foot up onto your lap, crisscross. If you have some tighter hips and knees, it's okay if you're just sitting crisscross without the foot on your lap, but if you have a chance to give half lotus a try, you should. One foot should be facing the ceiling, the bottom of that foot. If you want to try full lotus, swimmers, you can try that. That's where you sit with both feet crossed up onto the lap. The bottoms of the feet are lifted up. So we're sitting tall in this position. We're going to inhale our hands tall. Press the palms together. Now exhale, drop your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. Look over that back shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. The other direction, right hand, left knee. Inhale, lift. Press the palms. Exhale, lower. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears. I just noticed that mine were pretty high there on that last lift. So inhale, lift your hand. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower. Look over your left shoulder. Let's round forward. So we'll just walk our hands on the left side all the way around to the right side and come back up. That's great. Let's take a nice straddle fold. So open the legs wide. Okay, the feet stay flexed towards the ceiling. Now it's easy to sit forward in a hunched way, but try to come up tall, even if you need to hold on to bring yourself tall into this straddle fold. So with your inhale, extend the torso. With your exhale, we'll lean forward. You can even reach towards your feet. Just come into that nice straddle fold. Flat back. See how you can do it? Wiggle in a little bit. If this isn't your thing, something else was your thing. We're not competing against one another. We're just feeling a good stretch. And release. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to come back down to the floor in final relaxation. So come into your corpse pose again. Just the arms at your side and the legs lengthened out. If you have some strain in that lower back, you can do a quick tight tuck if you feel that lower back needs some stretch there or just some release. Just a nice lower back roll. So the rest of us are in our relaxation pose. So start to do a full body scan as you start to reconnect with your breath. So with each inhale, find a body part that's maybe not relaxed. And with your exhale, send the breath there and relax that body part. Relax your face, your jaw, your shoulders, your hips. Just looking for body parts that are still tense. Start to feel like the mat is soaking you up like soil soaks up water. Your body feels heavy on the floor. Your feet fall apart, the tongue falls to the back of the mouth. Coaches, you can let your swimmers stay in this final relaxation as long as you need. Otherwise, we'll start wiggling our fingers and toes. Bringing some awareness back to the body. We'll bend our knees, our feet on the floor. Excuse me. And roll over onto one side or the other and just slowly get up. There's no rush. Coming into that seated position again. Maybe you switch which foot was on the top in your half lotus. We'll take a few good breaths together, so extend our hands out wide. Space those fingers, really stretch your hands. With your inhale, lift them up towards the sky, touch your palms together, drop your hands, follow them with your eyes as they come down to your sternum. We'll drop our nose to our fingertips, feel that neck stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Nose to fingers. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. My thanks for a great practice, everyone. Namaste. I hope that you have a super day. I don't know if you're headed off to a practice right now, Summers, but if you are, good luck with that. Hope it goes well for you. If you're taking the class in the evening time and you're headed home, have a relaxing evening. Glad that you could be with us on this Monday class. We'll see you on Wednesday. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the question and answer section of the webinar if you're taking it live. Hi, Julie, by the way. And if you are watching it recorded, then shoot me an email at summersyoga@gmail.com, and we will be happy to answer what questions you might have. Have a great day.